Suganya. I'm Assistant Professor, Department of General Surgery. I have 8+ years of work experience. I'm a member of Indian Medical Association, member of FIAGS, member of FAC-RSI. The topic for today is wound. So wound definition. Wound is a break in the integrity of the skin of the tissue often which may be associated with the disruption of the structure and the function. So classification of wound, there are n number of classifications. First is the rank and the Wakefield classification. According to this classification, it is divided into tidy and the untidy wound. These are wound like surgical incision and wound caused by sharp objects. It is incised, clean, healthy wound without any tissue loss. Usually primary suturing is done. Healing is by primary intention. For untidy wound, these are due to crushing, tearing, avulsion, devitalized injury, vascular injury, multiple irregular wound or burns. Fracture of underlying bone may be present. Classification based on type of wound. Clean incised wound. It is a tidy, simple, clean cut wound with linear cut edges, usually due to sharp object like blade, glass piece or knife. It is treated by primary suturing. Lacerated wound. It has ragged edges with some part of tissue getting devitalized. Viability of tissue may be impaired. Depth of the injury and tissue damage should be carefully assessed. Proper adequate wound excision, thorough warm saline wash, and suturing of wound layer by layer is required. Bruise or contusion. It is due to blow or blunt force to the skin or tissue underneath, wherein the blood vessel or capillary are damaged underneath. There is skin discoloration without breaking of the skin. Broken vessel causes seepage of blood underneath. Hematoma. It is a localized collection of blood after blunt trauma or after surgery. Collected fluid blood gets clotted in few minutes to hours. Later, eventually, it liquefies to form a discolored fluid. Abrasion. It is a superficial injury, either a scratch, grasp, pressure or contact, and it is due to shearing of skin where the skin surface is rubbed off. Punctured wound and the bite. It is usually a stab wound with a pointed object. Here depth of wound is more than the width. Penetrating wound. These are similar to punctured wound occurring due to stab. Abdomen and chest are the common site. Traction and the avulsion injury. These are the complex injury where the tissues are displaced from their original anatomical position and the alignment. Crush injury. It is due to major wound, war wound, natural disaster like earthquake injury, tourniquet injury or etc. Gunshot injury. This injury may be superficial or depth. Usually it will have an entry wound and the exit wound. It causes explosive and destructive injuries along the burn injury in the deeper planes and the organs. Injuries to bones and joint. It is common in all major injuries, should be identified clinically and confirmed radiologically. It needs specialized management like reduction, plating or etc. Injuries to nerves, artery, veins, deeper organs. It needs initial resuscitation, later staged management as per individual patient basis depending on the severity and the extent of injury and the loss of function. Closed blunt injury. It may be due to fall or the blunt injury wherein no obvious external injury is seen, but deeper injury can occur. It may be often severe enough to cause major injury like blunt abdominal injury like bowel, liver, spleen or renal injury. Third classification based on the thickness of wound. It could be a superficial wound where only epidermis and the dermal papillary is lost. Partial thickness wound. Wound with the skin loss up to deep dermis with only deeper part of dermis, hair follicle shaft and sweating gland are left behind. For full thickness wound with loss of entire skin and the subcutaneous tissue causing spacing out of skin edges. For deeper wound or the one extending deeper across the deep fascia into the muscle or the deeper structure. Complicated wounds are the one associated with injury to the vessels or the nerves. Penetrating wound is one which penetrates either into the natural cavity or the organs. Fourth classification is based on involvement of structures. It could be a simple wound which involve only one organ or the tissue, or it could be a combined or complex wound involving more than multiple organs. Classification based on time elapsed. It could be an acute wound or chronic wound. Chronic is further divided into typical or atypical wound. For acute wound, these are generally defined as those that progress through the normal phase of healing and typically show signs of healing in less than 4 weeks. A wound is considered chronic if healing does not occur within the expected period according to etiology and localization. Classification of surgical wound. Barrard wound classification. According to this, It is divided into clean wound, clean contaminated, contaminated and the dirty wound. Clean wound or the elective, primarily closed, no entrance of normal or frequently colonized body activity. Infective rate is less than 2%. Clean contaminated wound, controlled opening of normally colonized body cavity, minimally spillage or break in the sterile technique. For example, appendicectomy. Infective rate is up to 30%. Third is the contaminated wound, acute inflammation, break in sterile technique, spillage from hollow organ, penetrating trauma less than 4 hours from injury, chronic open wound. Examples are the acute abdominal condition. Infection rate is up to 60%. Dirty wound, purulent spaces, perforation within colonized bacteria, penetrating trauma more than 4 hours from injury. Examples are the abscess, perforating viscous with peritonitis. Infective rate is more than 60%. Wound healing. Wound healing is a complex process to achieve anatomical and functional integrity of the disrupted tissue by various components like neutrophil, macrophages, lymphocytes, fibroblast, collagen in an organized staged pathway. The stages of wound healing. First is the stage of hematoma and inflammation. Next is the stage of granulation tissue formation and organization. Here, due to fibroblastic activity, synthesis of collagen and ground substances occur. Next is the stage of epithelialization. Next is the stage of scar formation and resorption, and finally is the stage of maturation. The types of wound healing, it is divided into primary intention, which is done by suturing, secondary intention where the wound is allowed to heal on its own, and by tertiary intention we first treat the infection and later we do a suturing without any tension. So poor wound healing can be due to local factors or general factors. The local factors are as follows. Infection. Infection delays healing by causing tissue damage and the inflammation. Presence of any necrotic tissue or any foreign body will impair the granulation and the epithelialization. Poor blood supply will reduce the oxygen and the nutrient delivery and will impair the wound healing. Venous or lymphatic stasis will cause edema and poor tissue perfusion. Tissue tension may lead to wound edge separation. Hematoma acts as a medium for bacterial growth and delays healing. General factors, old age, obesity, smoking, alcohol and stress will reduce the healing efficacy. Malnutrition, where there is lack of essential nutrition, will also slow the repair. Mineral deficiencies like zinc, copper, manganese deficiency affects the enzymatic activity in the collagen formation. Vitamin deficiency like vitamin C and A deficiency will impair the collagen synthesis and epithelialization. Anemia, hypoxia, malignancy, uremia, jaundice, diabetes, other metabolic diseases, HIV, other immunosuppressive diseases, steroids, cytotoxic drugs and neuropathies can also impair the wound healing factors. Coming to the treatment, first you have to do the assessment of wound. Assess whether it is a minor or the major wound or the acute or the chronic wound. Evaluate the number, extent, depth of the wound, whether it is superficial or deep. Check for any major organ involvement and the anatomical location. Measure wound in 2 dimension or 3 dimension and take a detailed history of mode of injury, pain, bleeding or any other associated comorbid condition. First, you have to do a wound cleaning. Aim to optimize wound healing and prepare the wound bed. Follow aseptic precaution during cleaning. Irrigate with warm saline, isotonic or normal saline using a sterile syringe. Cleaning should be gentle to avoid disruption of granulation tissue. Use neutral pH, non-toxic cleaning agent. Avoid delipidizing agent, antiseptic and alkalinating soap. Coming to the specific treatment, for minor wound, first you have to clean thoroughly with saline, apply a non-sticky dressing. Incised wound should be treated by primary suturing. Lacerated wound, excise wound edges, then close with primary suturing without any tension. For hematoma, you can apply ice packs wrapped in cloth 15 minutes every 2 hours for 24 hours. Use compression bandage and elevate the affected part. If persistent, you can do an ultrasound guided aspiration and evacuation. For crushed or devitalized wound, you have to remove all the devitalized tissue. You can do a debridement or the wound excision. Allow edema to subside, which will take around 2 to 6 days, then perform delayed primary suturing. If deep wound, allow complete granulation before closure. Secondary suturing after 10 days using monofilament non-absorbable suture. For wide wound, you have to cover it with split skin graft. For major wound, you have to maintain airway, control bleeding, start IV fluid immediately, manage an operation theatre under general anesthesia after full assessment. Other essential management, you have to start an appropriate antibiotic and IV fluid, blood transfusion and electrolyte management as needed, tetanus prophylaxis should be given, critical care monitoring for major trauma cases should be done in the ICU. Finally, you have to do a good wound debridement. Liberal excision of all devitalized tissue until a healthy bleeding vascular wound is achieved. It may be done in stages at interval. Sometimes requires blood transfusion due to blood loss. Types of debridement include surgical debridement, sharp, autolytic, enzymatic, larval and mechanical. And that completes the topic for today. We'll catch you with some other interesting topic in the next session.